If you're like me, you've probably found yourself in a situation where you knew you could have done better. Maybe whether it's with school, maybe you were writing a test, maybe you were playing a sport, whatever it may have been, a relationship. Everybody, or if not most people, have found themselves in a situation where we know we could have done better. I used to be very lazy, very undisciplined, especially during my high school days. I was very average. I still had good grades. I was well above average with my grades and everything. But as far as as far as I was concerned at that time, I was very lazy. I didn't really have any set time. I didn't really have a schedule. I didn't do anything to, stick to a plan, stick to a schedule, and get shit done. And that was one of the biggest issues for me. And it might be an issue for you listening to this video as well. One thing that really helped me with that was transitioning into college. The difficulty level from, high school to college is a huge jump. And if any of my viewers are also in college right now, maybe you might be able to relate to me. But high school's easy if you really think about it. It's not really difficult. Yes, there's challenges. You go through your ups and downs. There's subjects and courses and course material you don't really fully understand. But you get through it, and you get through it really easily. Especially nowadays where we have video lessons for classes and YouTube and AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, all these things to help us out with all our assignments and stuff. High school has gotten so easy. But the transitioning into university, transitioning into college is a huge jump. And if you don't have the right habits, if you don't have the right discipline, you will struggle in university to do well. If your goal is to finish strong and get a really high GPA and do as best as you can, you will struggle if you don't have discipline. Motivation is a lie. It can only get you so far. Do you ever find yourself scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels and you just get this sudden burst of motivation? Maybe David Goggins shows up on your For You page, or some crazy gym video with a crazy edit and the funk music is playing in the background. And then you get this sudden urge of motivation. But then that shit dies down, and then you wake up the next morning and you don't want to do shit. And then it just repeats the next day, and you keep telling yourself, oh, I'll do it. Oh, I'll get it done. Oh, maybe tomorrow. But then you never actually end up getting it done. I used to be like that. And I'm sure many of you are like that, or used to be like that as well. But once I started to realize and actually know what discipline really is, that's when I started to change. I started to see genuine change in my life. It started with sports. I used to play soccer. So, I wanted to be one of the best on my team. I wanted to play for one of the best teams at that time. And so I was lazy. I showed up to team practices. I did. It was hard balancing school, soccer, and work at the same time. I was working at McDonald's at that time. So it's not easy balancing everything all at once. Being a student athlete is quite difficult, but it's doable. It's not impossible. It's not easy, but it's doable. But at that time, I wanted a lot, but I wasn't willing to put in the work for it. We all want these nice things. We all want nice cars. We want lots of money. We want this, we want that. But majority of us, including myself, I'm not only talking about other people, I'm also speaking to myself as I'm speaking to you guys as well. We want a lot of stuff, but we're just not willing to put in the work because of instant gratification. We want everything now. But that's not how it works. for you to attain and achieve your goals and everything, you have to have the right kind of mindset. You have to put in the work every day, consistently, habitually, until you become the person that you want to be. And so I wanted to become a good soccer player. And so once I started realizing, hey, I'm getting older, I have to lock in, I'm 17 now. I have to start applying to colleges next year, talking to coaches, talking to teammates, seeing where they're going and everything. I started to lock in. So after, not only was I going to team practices, but I would train on my own as well. I would train on my own. Every morning I wake up, go to the field, drive there, 2-minute drive. It wasn't that far from my house. And I would train, and I'd see genuine progress. And I got better. I got better at dribbling. My agility got better. My shooting got better. Wrapping the ball into the bottom corner of the net. I got better at finishing as well. But soccer didn't work out. My original plan was to join a college and play for their team, but that didn't end up working out. And that's fine. Not everything goes according to plan sometimes, but I still wanted to do something big. I just wanted to be great. I wanted to put in so much work and effort into something and watch it pay off in the next weeks, months, and even years as well. And so when I transitioned into college, I'd say that's when my discipline really started to pick up, honestly. I started going to the gym consistently a month before I started going to college, during that summer. And I started seeing lots of progress. It's like a video game. When you're playing a story game or an MMO or whatever, as you level up, as you get stronger, you gain, I don't know, maybe it's armor, weapons, anything else that improves your character and moves your character forward in the game. Anything that just gets you ahead, you know what I mean? It's the same thing with life. You get better. I like to make the analogy with video games. I play a lot of video games, like playing Call of Duty right now. I may not be the best player. I'm far from the best player, but I've gotten better. Compared to the first time I played the game, I've gotten much, much better. My awareness, my quick thinking, swapping to my secondary weapons, if my ammo runs out of my primary, all that stuff took time for me to get the hang of and everything. And it's the same thing with life as well. At first, doing stuff at first sucks. It sucks. It sucks ass. But it's that hard work that ends up paying off that gets us to where we want to be. I started going to the gym. I'd do lifts. I'd watch TikToks and, people like C-Bum, people like Sam Sulek, Jacob Ostracher. I don't know how you say his last name. Just a bunch of fitness TikTok influencers, and seeing their progress made me want to progress as well with my fitness journey. And so I started seeing progress in the gym. Why? Because I stayed consistent with it. I went every day. I started eating the right foods, getting enough protein, getting enough calories. And I started seeing the progress. More muscle, more strength. I was getting stronger. My lifts were getting heavier, and it felt good. And that's one of the great things, when you start seeing yourself progress and doing good, you're going to want to keep going. That progress makes you happy. It's like a dopamine rush. And you feel so satisfied with yourself as well, because you realize how far you've come. Like, hey, I wasn't able to lift this much like a month or 2 months ago, but now I'm getting stronger. And so I was able to transfer that level of discipline from the gym into my schoolwork as well. Once I started, I'm taking business, and so my first semester of college, I had 5 classes. It was hell. I'll just tell you right now, it was not fun. It was really, really difficult. Remember, I had accounting, microeconomics, business mathematics, management, and then the last one was, it was this one course called Business Productivity Tools and Technology, where it taught us how to use Excel, Microsoft Excel and Word, because as business majors, we're going to be using lots and lots of spreadsheets, and we need to know how to use these softwares because we're going to be using them for the rest of our lives if we're to work in those corporate environments. But that same level of discipline and consistency I was able to apply to my schoolwork as well. I didn't miss any assignments. It's like this was the first time, like ever in my whole entire school life, that I didn't miss a single assignment. And I felt really proud about myself because, they add up. It's like assignments are like 20% of your overall grade or whatever. Yeah, it may look small. Maybe you miss one. You're like, whatever. But little drops of water make a mighty ocean. The more you miss, the more it adds up, and then it starts to compound. And so I didn't want that. I didn't want those same bad habits from high school trickling into my university and college experience, because I didn't want my grades to be affected too badly, because I want my transcript to look good. So it wasn't easy, and I worked like 18 to 20 hours every weekend as well. It was not easy. And then I'd have a bunch of assignments due Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So some weekends, it was not fun. I'd go to work, come back, and it would just be straight to the books, straight to my assignments, straight to work. But at first, like the first 2 weeks was hell. It wasn't fun. But that's the thing with discipline. After a while, you start to build consistency. And when you're consistent, it becomes a habit. It just becomes part of you. Even when you don't feel like doing it, you have to force yourself to do it. And once it becomes a habit, it's hard to get rid of a habit. It's hard to form good habits. It's easy to form bad habits. But a habit is a habit once it sticks with you, like it's part of you. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to get rid of. And so I was able to form that habit of doing my shit when I needed to. And I had 8 a.m. classes as well. That shit was not fun. Waking up at like 6 in the morning every day, take the train to school, like 45 minutes, come back. Sometimes the train would break down and I'd be late for class. It wasn't fun, but there was some kind of comfort, there was some kind of satisfaction that comes from that type of discipline. And it also helped too that I had people in my classes that, were kind of that had the same mindset as me. They were also really smart. And so me surrounding myself with those people, it's like competition. We created competition for each other, especially, when you're with your friends. We don't like losing. You're being competitive. And so you make everything a competition. Who can do this first? Who can do this better? Whatever. It was the same thing. Who can get the highest grades? Who can, that type of thing. And that competition, that rush was also what propelled me and pushed me even more as well. Because I didn't want to get left behind. I didn't want to be the one they laughed at. You know what I'm saying? And so I did my best, and the progress was insane. It was like I could feel myself ascending. Life just felt good. I'm a student. I'm working, making money, getting good grades, making new friends, competing with my new friends. Also with the gym, I was making insane progress as well. I'd gotten much, much stronger, put on more muscle, and everything. Life just felt, I was on, and I still am, on a cloud nine. It was amazing. It is amazing. And I just want this to be like a message to everybody else out there too. Even if you don't feel like doing it, everybody knows what has to get done. Everybody knows what you have to do. If you know what you have to do but you're not doing it, that's on you. And so you just have to tell yourself, even when you don't feel like it, even when it feels like shit, you just have to get your ass up and get the work done. No matter how much you feel like doing it or how much you don't feel like doing it, it has to get done. You don't have a choice. It's about who you want to be in the future. What do you want to build for yourself in the future? That's the ultimate goal. That's the end goal. Maybe you want a degree. You want to be a doctor. You want to be an engineer. You want to be a business. You want your CFA. You want your MBA. Maybe you want to be a TikToker. Maybe you want to, whatever it is. And I know I'm just a small voice out of like millions of YouTube videos pretty much saying the same thing, but it works. It may all look like the same thing because it is, but it's literally that simple. It's that simple. Getting up and doing shit you don't feel like doing because you know what has to get done and because you know you'll thank yourself for it in the future. One of my biggest inspirations for that is actually the guy that I brought up at the start of this video, David Goggins. I remember the first time seeing his videos on my TikTok For You page, he caught my eye. He was the one that actually helped me to, get my shit together. Like, there's shit that has to get done. What am I doing with myself right now? Why am I not doing the things that I need to be doing? And once I started asking myself that, once I started pushing myself, and it's not easy. Change is not easy. You're going to want to quit. It's going to suck. But once you get past like the first week, the first 2 weeks, you'll be fine. At that point, when you're being that consistent every day with whatever it is you're doing, it just becomes a part of you. It just becomes a part of you. And like I said, once a habit is formed, it's not easily broken. That's just who you are. And so the more consistent you stay with it, the better you get at it, the more confident you feel, the more results and progress, whatever you start to see. You have to do the ordinary stuff, the ordinary boring shit every day. You're not just extraordinary, just out of nowhere. Being extraordinary is from doing the ordinary shit every day. You do the simple, boring shit that you know you need to be doing every day, and it compounds. It's like compound interest when you're looking at money and shit. It compounds all your behaviors, all your habits, all your work that you've put in over the months, weeks, years. It's all gonna add up and it's all gonna pay off for you in the future. Once you start seeing your progress, you're gonna be so happy with yourself and so satisfied with yourself compared to when you were lazy, when you weren't really doing anything, when you weren't disciplined, but you were running off of motivation and all that. The best way to do it is just do it. Literally, Nike's, what do you call those slogans? There we go. Nike slogans. Just do it. Even when you don't feel like it, just do it. Just get out of bed. Do what you gotta do. You don't want to study. You want to procrastinate. Just get up, study, do your homework. Set a timer. 25, 30, 40 minutes, an hour of hard, focused work, and then take a break, and then go back to it. Another timer, hard, focused work, take a break, and then just repeat every single day. I promise you, even if it's just an hour or 2 hours at whatever it is you're doing every single day, you will make progress. If it's an hour every day, that's 7 hours a week. That's like, what, 364 hours in a year that you spent on that thing. And 300 hours will get you a lot. Do something over and over and over again. Even for like 5-10 hours, you will be surprised at the amount of progress you make. You can become that extraordinary person just by doing the simple, boring shit. Motivation is a scam. It runs on highs and lows. It's not consistent. Discipline is what you need. You need that discipline. You need that consistency. That's what's actually going to get you what you want. That's the secret sauce. That's the secret recipe in achieving your goals, in achieving everything that you want to achieve. Just stay disciplined. It's not easy, but once you stay disciplined, once you stay consistent, once you build those habits, it becomes a part of you. It becomes easier in a way, honestly, because then because once you start seeing that progress, you're going to want to keep doing what you're doing. You're not going to want to stop. That's the beauty of it. And I challenge you guys, anybody who's watching right now, if there's anything that you want to do, if there's anything you're going through, anything that you're working towards, just set a timer every single day. Maybe if it's just 1 hour a day, and stick to the simple, basic stuff, and just do that every single day. Maybe it's studying. Maybe it's your sport. Whatever it may be. Just stick to that. An hour every day for like a whole year. Or even just a few months. Going to the gym can help with that, because that productivity from the gym, you can transfer that same discipline, that same mindset into any other area of your life. It works, trust me. It worked for me. It's worked for many other people, and it can work for you. There's no exception. You just have to be willing to put in the work. Be extraordinary, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.